Counting on Jinger Duggar's daughter rushed to her. For many fans of Counting On, Jinger Duggar Vuolo has always been the Duggar daughter who marched to the beat of her own drum. From moving to Los Angeles with husband Jeremy Vuolo to wearing pants and embracing a more contemporary Christian lifestyle, Jinger has slowly but surely carved out a life distinct from the conservative values she was raised with. But even as she's distanced herself from some of her family's more extreme beliefs, one thing has remained constant: her fierce devotion to her children. That's why when news broke that Jinger Duggar's daughter had been rushed to the emergency room, it sent shockwaves through the fanbase. Though Jinger and Jeremy are notoriously private about their daughters, Felicity and Evangeline, the rare emergency brought their family into an emotional spotlight. The incident turned into a sobering moment that forced Jinger and Jeremy to reevaluate everything from their parenting choices to their sense of security in their Los Angeles home. Now, for the first time, sources close to the family, along with hints from Jinger herself, are painting a picture of what really happened, why it was a turning point, and how this crisis led to a surprising transformation for the Vuolos. The quiet afternoon turns terrifying. It was supposed to be an ordinary afternoon. According to a source close to the family, Jinger was at home preparing lunch while Jeremy worked on sermon notes in the study. Their two young daughters, 5-year-old Felicity and 3-year-old Evangeline, were playing together in the living room. In a moment that Jinger later described as terrifying and surreal, a sudden shriek sent her running. Evangeline, the youngest of the two, had collapsed and was struggling to breathe. She was choking, the source confirmed. Jinger tried to dislodge whatever was in her throat, but she couldn't get it out. She screamed for Jeremy, and they immediately rushed to the hospital. The ride to the ER, by all accounts, was harrowing. Jinger later admitted in a private interview that she feared they were going to lose her. "I've never prayed harder in my life," she said. Silent trauma, swift action. What makes the incident even more unsettling is how quickly it unfolded, and how easily it could have turned tragic. At the hospital, doctors quickly stabilized Evangeline. The object, later revealed to be a small piece of a toy, a plastic button that had come loose, was removed. While there was no long-term damage, doctors warned the Vuolos about the dangers of choking hazards, even for toddlers who seemed old enough to know better. In the aftermath, Jinger shared a cryptic post on Instagram, a simple image of a child's hand gripping her finger, captioned, "Grateful." No other details were shared publicly, but fans noticed the post was flooded with prayer emojis and well wishes from Duggar siblings and followers alike. Jinger's silence wasn't out of coldness, but protection. She needed time, said the source. Time to process what almost happened, and what changes needed to be made to keep it from happening again. Parenting in the public eye. Raising kids in the age of social media is difficult. Raising kids as former reality TV stars with millions of followers, even more so. Since distancing herself from the Duggar brand and publicly criticizing some of the teachings of the Institute in Basic Life Principles IBLP, Jinger has taken a more cautious approach to parenting. She rarely shows her daughters' faces online and avoids sharing too many personal details. This protective instinct likely intensified after the hospital scare. Jeremy, in a podcast episode weeks after the incident without naming specifics, hinted at a recent family emergency that had rocked us to the core. He described the experience as a test of faith that forced them to consider how precious and fragile life truly is. Fans, who were quick to read between the lines, speculated the episode was about Evangeline's health crisis, and they were right. Changes at home. One of the most immediate outcomes of the incident was a top-to-bottom overhaul of the Vuolo home. According to insiders, Jinger and Jeremy hired a professional child-proofing consultant after the hospital visit. They purged toys with small parts, installed cameras in every room, and even converted their open-plan living room into a safe play zone. There's a new level of vigilance now, the source added. Jinger has always been cautious, but this shook her. She realized even one moment of distraction can lead to a life or death situation. The couple also made changes to their daily routines. Jeremy, who often juggled church duties and parenting, now spends more time at home. Jinger, meanwhile, scaled back her online commitments and temporarily paused her work on a new book project. Family first, she reportedly told a friend. The Duggar family's reaction. While Jinger has set herself apart from her famous family in many ways, the emergency prompted a wave of support from Arkansas. Sisters Jill and Jessa Duggar were among the first to reach out. Jill, a fellow Duggar defector, sent a care package and even offered to fly to LA to help. Michelle Duggar, the family matriarch, reportedly called every day for a week offering prayer and advice. Even Jim Bob Duggar, with whom Jinger reportedly has a strained relationship, reached out, sources say. It was a moment where all the drama and distance faded, said a family insider. Everyone just cared that Evangeline was okay. A renewed perspective on faith. The incident wasn't just a physical emergency, it became a spiritual one. Jinger and Jeremy have both spoken about how the experience reminded them of the fragility of life and the importance of leaning into their faith. On a recent podcast, Jinger tearfully described the aftermath as a time of confession and surrender. I had to let go of the illusion that I could control everything, she said. As a mom, you want to believe that if you're careful enough, attentive enough, nothing bad will happen. But that's not the world we live in. She said the experience deepened her reliance on prayer and brought a new intimacy to her relationship with Jeremy. We were united in fear, in tears, in gratitude. I will never forget the way he held her in the earth, the way we clung to each other. Fan support and a shift in priorities. Once the news of Evangeline's emergency became public knowledge, even in fragments, the response from fans was overwhelming. Messages of support flooded Jinger's inbox. Fans praised her for staying strong and applauded her decision to protect her daughters from media attention. Many mothers also shared their own close calls, stories of toddlers choking, falling, and facing unexpected dangers. It became a moment of communal grief and bonding among Jinger's followers. Jinger responded in a quiet but powerful way. He began partnering with pediatric safety campaigns, using her platform not to relive the trauma, but to help prevent it from happening to other families. The legacy of a moment. Though no parent wants to face an emergency, Jinger and Jeremy Vuolo have turned a near tragedy into a transformative chapter. Their parenting is more intentional. Their home is safer. Their faith is deeper. And their resolve to raise their daughters in a loving, protective environment, one that doesn't rely on fear-based teachings, but rather informed responsibility, has only strengthened. As Jinger recently wrote in a rare heartfelt Instagram story, sometimes the scariest moments open your eyes the widest. I saw how fragile she was. I saw how quickly things can change. And I saw, in that terrifying moment, how powerful love really is. For all the fame and scrutiny that comes with being a Duggar daughter, Jinger Vuolo has proven that she's more than just a name in a reality TV family tree. She's a mother, a protector, a woman who, in the face of fear, chose grace and action. And while she may never share all the details of that terrifying visit, one thing is clear: it changed her life, her family, and her mission. Final thoughts.